All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, today we're going to go over area rug cleaning. Area rug cleaning is a very important part of our business, and we're going to be working on it a lot more. All right, there's a lot of money to be made in area rugs. If you look at the trend that's going on right now, and I saw it over the years, a lot more people are not putting carpet in their living room, dining room, and their showroom areas, even in their family room. They're more or less going with hardwood floors, which is great because we clean hardwood floors. Always keep that in mind when you're out there talking to customers. But they're putting area rugs in places like at a show. It's just a trend that's going. There's always trends. Successful business has to keep up with the trends. So the trend right now is going to more and more area rugs. They're keeping the carpet upstairs in their bedrooms and all because it's a lot more comfortable to get up out of bed in the middle of the night, walk to the restroom or whatever on carpet if you're in your bare feet. So they're still putting it up there. Still have furniture, still have a lot of stuff in the houses that we clean. We just have to really know how to clean all this stuff. So today we're going to go over area rug cleaning. There's only really two other companies that we have some competition around here with in area rugs. Okay, one is Clean Eyes. They've been around for a good many years, and the other one is called Green Spring Carpet Cleaning or whatever it is. It's Green Spring something. They're both up in the Timonium, Towson area, Falls Road area up there, which is great. I mean, there's a lot of really expensive homes and everything else up there. We're down here. We're really the only one on the west side of Baltimore that really does area rugs. So we're going to get into a little bit more specializing more and more and more into it. How much do we charge per square foot to do regular carpet? 46 cents, 56 cents a square foot for Berber. Okay. Area rugs, well, we charge in-house when you do them in-house. $1.25. Big difference, right? In amount that's made. What do we charge when we bring them in here? Nobody knows? How much? $3 a square foot. So let's say 8 by 10, or let's say 10 by 10, keep it real easy. 10 by 10 is how many square feet? 100 square foot times $3 is how much? How much? $30. Don't let him pick up any or deliver any. Okay? 100 square foot times $3. Okay, you got to move the decimal point one more place to the left. $300. Okay, and people will pay it. People will pay it because there's not that many places around. People know that those area rugs are expensive. They're not cheap. I've done them $15,000, $20,000. I remember one of the, not the first ones, but within the first couple years of being in business, I was it was the Quaker Meeting House in Dickeyville. I don't know if any of you know where that is. Dickeyville, it's kind of in the northwest section, downtown. Old section, real old section. I'm talking about dates back to the 1700s. It's a little town. In the middle was a meeting house. It was the Quaker Meeting House. Quakers, back in the 1700s. Quaker Meeting House with houses built around it. Very exclusive, very expensive area. The guy I was doing the carpet cleaning for bought the old Quaker Meeting House. It was like a church, big. His whole bedroom was the upstairs. I'm talking about something that was probably 100 feet wide by at least 100 foot long. That was his master bedroom. Had the master bedroom, and then in front of that had a big, huge sitting room, like a big living room, hardwood floors. I mean, it was really done up well. He had an area rug. He said, "Can you clean that?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can you clean it right there?" I said, "Yeah." Just been to a course on cleaning, area rugs. I watched what do they said? I watched a YouTube thing on it. What's that commercial? I watched something on it. I guess you haven't seen that commercial. But anyway, I just been to a class, knew how to do it, did the color testing and everything else. It was a big rug. It was probably 12 by 16 foot long. Charging back then, maybe $1.50 a square foot. Remember, this was then 30 years ago, probably. As I'm doing the rug, I said, man, talking to the owner, he's kind of, around there talking to me and all. I said, this is a really nice rug. He said, yeah, I got that on sale. He said it was at an auction. I said, oh. I said, you mind asking how much you paid for it? He said, yeah, I paid $15,000 for it. My throat, all of a sudden, got this lump in my throat down there. That was at an auction. So how much you think that rug was really worth? If I ruined it, would they want the auction price or what the value of the rug is? Yeah, that's what they would want. So I got a little lump in my throat, like that. And we did clean it a couple times, after that. And, everything else. He finally sold the place, and I don't know where he moved. I think he retired and moved out of the area. But yeah, area rugs can be not expensive, and they can be extremely expensive. So we treat them as all of them as if they're extremely expensive, not as if they're something that you went down to Home Depot and bought for $100. Always keep that in mind. Before we get started, I want to go over a couple things. You guys see this thing? We've always had a problem with having clean towels and rags. Always had a problem with it. We got a washing machine, figure we wash them. Well, that kind of doesn't work out. Who's going to do it? Are they done on time and everything else? So, 3 doors down is, what's it called? Domestic uniform, I think it's called?
Yeah.
Domestic uniform. Okay, they came down here, we were talking and all that, and, uniforms. I said, nah, I've been that route. You got to sign a contract. It's, usually 3 years, and, all that kind of stuff. I asked him, I said, we do need towels and rags that we need more. And he said, oh, no, it's working out. So he gave me a good deal on it. We have 2 different things up here. This is what do you think this is? Rag or towel? Huh? What? Be one or the other. You only choose one. Rag or towel?
Rag.
Rag. This is a rag. What do we use rags for?
Cleaning up water.
Okay, well, let's come back to rag. Okay, let's go to towel. Towel, well, pretty nice. What do you notice about this towel?
Green stripe on
A green stripe on it. Yeah, it's also white, right? Yeah. I told him, I said, we can't have anything that bleeds or anything. No, he said, it's got a green stripe on it, but these been washed and everything else numerous times. So it looks nice and clean, doesn't it? Okay, would you want to wash your face with this? If I said it's clean, it's just been laundered. Yeah, I'm sure you look at some of your towels at home, they probably don't look, as nice as this that you've taken photos with. But this has just been laundered, so yeah, it is clean. Okay? You should always have a towel in your back pocket, like that, when you're cleaning a house. You never know when you're going to have to wipe a little something off the floor and all that. It's better to use a, nice white towel, but these are primarily used for furniture. When we clean furniture, a sofa, you're going to need at least minimum of 2 towels. One to wipe on the brownout. We went over a whole furniture thing, how to clean furniture. Okay, and the other one, how to just towel it off to dry it a little bit. Okay, if you got to use some spotters with furniture, you want to have something clean. All right, so we got to keep these clean. These are not used for getting spots off of carpet. They're not used wiping the bottom of your feet. They're not used for cleaning up stuff in the truck that you may have had a spill. These are primarily for furniture cleaning. They must stay nice and white and good looking. You see the green stripe down the bottom there? Everybody sees that? These are the only ones that go in here. Right now, we have an assortment of, that's a rag. Okay, is that one of ours?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that one of ours?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
It is?
Uh-huh.
Huh? What makes you think that's ours?
Because it came out of 17B.
That's ours. It's not one of these, right? Just making sure you're paying attention. All right, so that does not go in here. Okay, how about that?
Yeah.
Ours, or it goes in here?
Ours.
Let's say rental and ours, okay? That's ours, okay? Doesn't go in here. Got a couple other ones. What's that?
Somebody
Man, who was that? That looks like a little kid.
That shrunk
They don't work anymore.
I guess not. What? Rental? What?
Ours.
Ours? Okay. So you all kind of catch on. So we want to make sure It's only the rental towels go in here. This is going to be back there by the washing machine, okay? This is to help you guys. You do not look professional if you don't have the right equipment. You do not look professional if you got a dirty, stinking towel hanging out of your back pocket or in your bucket and you're doing their furniture with it. You don't look professional. Don't expect a tip. People only give tips to people that they feel have done a good job, and the key is being professional. So make sure you always have a clean towel, a couple of them on your truck when you leave here every day. When you get back, empty them and put them in the right position, right place. If you find dirty towels on the truck in the morning when you get ready to leave here, let me know. Okay? It cannot happen. I will be inspecting the trucks. Stephen and Stefan will be inspecting the trucks. At the end of the day, we're here. We come back a lot of times. Pick up stuff or whatever, you know, different things like that. And I go around and check the trucks. In the morning, we're going to start looking at trucks too. You have to clean the truck out at the end of the day. Put the rags and towels in the right places. Any questions? Okay, we'll sort these out. Huh?
Where do the rags go?
Rentals?
Rags.
Rags and towels, rentals go in here.
Both of them.
Okay, both of them. Both of them go in there. They're going to come every 2 weeks. They pick this up, they take them, and they bring us a new supply. There's only 200. I'm getting 200 of each. Okay, 200 of them should last, if used properly, should last for 2 weeks. Okay, hopefully. Okay, then we go through the count, so we can't have them lost or thrown out. All right, any questions on that? What's the next thing we got? The one thing on the list?
Waivers.
Waivers. What was it specific about waivers? Anybody remember?
Getting the waivers for the area roads.
Waivers for the area rugs. We've had, Dave was here on Tuesday to do some area rugs. We had, what, how would you have, 5 back there to do? 4 back there to do. We can only do 1? Couldn't do any of them? Okay. Couldn't do any of them. You know why? Tell us why, Dave.
The waiver wasn't signed.
No waivers. They weren't signed. I'll give you your paycheck next week. I won't sign it. Okay? Remember that when you bring a waiver back here and it's not signed, that waiver is no good if it's not signed. That's like 4th grade stuff. Okay? You got to have the waiver signed. If you ask, I got a daughter that's in 2nd grade. I'm sure if I asked her, she brought a permission slip home. Okay, she's supposed to give it to her parents. If she took that back and gave it to the teacher and said, here it is, and that teacher looked at it and said, it's not signed, you think she would understand that? Yeah, it needed to be signed. Okay, you take this permission slip home and you get your parents to sign it and you bring it back. When you pick up an area rug, you give them the waiver, you fill it out, but you got to make sure it's signed. 4 out of 4 rugs could not be done because we didn't have waivers. So what we got to do now? Got to call the customer. We got to let them know that it wasn't signed. They're going to have to fax them something or email them something. They're going to have to sign it or give us at least authorization by email and send it back. Number 1, that takes more work for these 2 over here in the office. More work for them. Okay, you guys got enough work, don't you? You got enough? Mm-hmm. You got enough, don't you? Mm-hmm. You got too much, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't need any more. Okay, so number 1, more work to do. Number 2, what do we look like in that customer's eyes? We don't look real sharp. You know, I don't know about these guys. They don't seem to be playing with a full deck there. Picked up the rug. I know they showed me the waiver. I know they talked about it. I know they filled it out. But they didn't have me sign it. Is it my responsibility as the customer when they're leaving the house? Oh, by the way, do you want me to sign that waiver? No, it's not their responsibility. It's our responsibility. So we're looking up. We're finding out who brought them back. Do you think that's worth an incident report? From a technician that's supposed to know what he's doing? Is that worth an incident report? Dave couldn't do it. Wasted time. Had to schedule more time to do it. They have to go get the waiver signed by the customer. More time. And it makes us look bad in the eyes of a customer. Okay? That's not good. We don't want that. We can't have that. We've got to do the job correctly. Area rug cleaning. We want to go over this. Primarily, this is for out at the house. Dave's going to be doing, he should be doing all the rugs back here. Okay? Why do we charge more money to bring a rug back here than what it is when we do it in a house? Is that on Roche? That's on the table, right? Okay, why do we charge more money to do them back here than at the house? We charge them what, $1.25 in their house, $3 back here? Why do we do that?
Labor, gas. Labor, gas.
No.
Better cleaning in the shop.
Yeah, clean in shop, why? Yeah.
Better cleaning in the shop.
Better cleaning in shop, explain it to me. How can we clean it better in the shop?
Got more time?
Huh?
We have more time?
More time?
More time to actually be more thorough with the rest?
No.
Well, that's $1 million question, Chuck.
Yeah, it is, that's what I'm asking. I know. Dave knows. Yeah, you guys should know, because you're going after what do you think a customer? Okay, you're talking to a customer, you know, Mrs. Jones, we can do this here for $1.25. We can take it into the warehouse, but it costs $3. If you were the customer, what do you want to know? Why? Yeah, why does it cost over double to take it back into the warehouse? You gotta have a good answer, and that's why we're not going area rugs back there. Okay? Reason why. One of the reasons why we can do a much better job back here. Now this doesn't have fringes on it. Okay, we might have should grab one that had fringes on it. But fringes, you're doing these usually on top of other carpet or on top of hardwood floors? No, there was an or. Whenever there's an or, it's not a, yes. Are you doing these more on carpet or hardwood floors?
Hardwood.
Hardwood floors. Yeah, most of them don't on hardwood floors, 'cause that's where they have it. They don't put a lot, some of them put them on top of carpet, but most of them on hardwood floors. You got fringes that go over the edge here. You got edges you got to do around. Okay, do you really want to hose our hardwood floors down? It's not going to go through, but you'll have overspray around. There's only so much we can do on these edges. When we bring it back here, we're on a concrete floor. He puts a mat out there to do it. We're actually going to build a pit to do it. Okay, so we could do a whole lot more on those fringes to make them look a lot nicer. Okay, we could put a strong cleaner on them in here. We can't put that on at their house because if it's on the hardwood floors. Okay, so we can do a much better job. We can clean the fringes better. We can get around the edges better. We also have a machine back here. I'm sure you've seen it. It's called a Rug Badger. I don't know if you've ever seen them put it out, but we put out a grid. Okay, it's like got holes in it, metal grid. You've all seen it. Can they see it? Is it right over there? And it should be right over. Puts that out. Okay, it's got holes in it. Puts the rug on top of that, and then we have a thing that kind of looks like the thing you run across your lawn that puts holes in it to aerate the lawn. Kind of looks like that. Put it on there. What does that do, Dave?
It actually beats the dirt out
It
of the road.
beats the rug. Beats it like that up against there. The more dry dirt we can get out of this carpet, the cleaner we can get it. Does one side, flips it over, does the other side, right? Falls through that graded thing, so it's not sitting in its own dirt. Okay? So that's one thing we can do. Badger, you got to explain to that. Remember the old days? How did they clean rugs in the pioneer days? But don't ask me, I was there.
Good old
You've seen it on Little House on the Prairie, maybe, or one of those other shows. How did they do it? Hang it over a line and beat it. There are, if you go to antique places, there are actually things you can buy that they used to beat rugs. So it looks kind of like a tennis racket. Okay, that's made out of metal. It, you know, goes like that. They used to beat that. That was the rich people had that. They had their servants go out there. Little House on the Prairie, they picked up a stick or something, and they just beat the rug to get the dirt out of it. That was how they cleaned it. That's the first step when we bring it back here, doing that, getting as much dry dirt out of it as possible, so we do a much better cleaning job. We do the fringes better. We can do the edges better. We can scrub it. We can immerse it. We can get it a lot wetter because we can get it a lot drier back here. We're also looking at possibility of buying a machine that you actually clean these in. It looks like a torpedo tube. Okay, and what you do is you put this rug after you clean it, get it, scrub it and everything else, and it's wet and get as much water out of it as possible. You roll it, pick it up, put it in this tube, okay, and the tube spins just like the spin cycle in the washing machine. Spins really quick. And what it's doing is getting all that water, that moisture out. And then another neat thing you do to it, you have a hose hooked to it, and once you get all that out, then you start injecting open it up, and fresh water goes into it. Okay, and that goes down, and that's flushing back through the rug. You watch it until the water turns clear coming out. Okay? Can you do that at a customer's house? So what is what makes the difference between you being able to clean it in their house and bringing it in here? A couple things. Number one is what?
Do a better job here.
Do a better job here, right? So what would be, you're looking at a rug. What would determine whether you should do it at the customer's house or you should bring it in here? What you want to talk to the customer about. There you go. Who said that?
No.
Huh? Yeah, pretty short. Okay. Yeah, how dirty it is. Okay. We said we could do a much better job in here, so that means if the rug is dirty, it's a good candidate for coming in here. Now, I hope you all know the difference between dirty and wore out. Okay, everybody, do we have to go over that? You know, it's pretty apparent, dirty and wore out. So you inspect it. You see, it's pretty dirty. You know, it's got some cat stains on it. She said, well, the cat, you know, wet on the carpet and everything else. So there's two things. I could clean it in here. Okay, it does cost less to do it. But on your floors and everything else, I can only do so much. So in-house is more of a lighter clean. If it's not really dirty, you're just getting the dust out to keep it on a maintenance cycle, that's good. In the house is fine. So if it really looks dirty, it's a good candidate for coming in here. And let our expert Dave, you know, clean it. Also, if it's got a lot of fringes on it, the fringes look dirty, you're not going to be able to clean them out there. So you got to have that conversation with the customer, you know, bring it in here. All right? Does that all make sense? Okay, so Dave, what's the first thing we do? We go on an area rug.
First thing you want to do, you want to inspect the rug for any ripped tears, bleeding, anything like that. Check the backing, make sure none of the backing is coming separated.
Does everybody know about how delamination is called? Does everybody know what that is? Answer me. Yes, no. Huh?
Separation like that.
Okay, let me go over it real quick. Separation of the back. When you have a carpet, you have the back, and even your wall-to-wall carpet is like that. Feel that? Like screen. Okay, that's called you have a primary and a secondary backing. When they weave a carpet, now this is just a cheap carpet, I can tell by how it feels. When they make a carpet, they use one backing, primary backing, and they're actually weaving through that. You ever see it's not crochet, it's something needlepoint, I think, where they do it on a screen, like, is that what it's called, needlepoint?
Yeah.
Okay, where they actually go through and loop it up like that. That's how they make a carpet. Okay, by hand, they used to do it like that, by hand. Make the whole carpet like that. That's why they're so expensive. Today, they can do them domestically like that. That means they have a machine that actually does it. So when they get done, they have this carpet, top part is the top, back part of it is like a screen that you can actually see the knobby part on the back of it. It's all trimmed down pretty good. Then they take another piece of that same backing and they glue it together. It's called the primary and the secondary backing. They glue it together. They use latex glue domestically, and who knows what they use when they've made it in the basement of somebody's house in Quebec. Okay, so primary backing, secondary backing goes together. Sometimes what happens through, you get spilled some type of solvent, some type of products on here, wetting on the carpet, animals wetting on the carpet, that glue comes loose between the primary and the secondary backing, the two of them. They come separated. You can see it, right, Dave? Yeah, you can see it, where it kind of makes it like a bubble, and you can feel it, it's loose. All right, that's called delamination, okay? You want to make sure you make note of that. We don't want to bring the carpet back and they turn on back and look, hey, that doesn't look right, okay? And then they find out it's delamination, they blame who for it? Us. So that's why we inspect it out there. So you look for rips, tears, bleeding, damage to the backing, okay? And then any pet stains, if you see pet stains, you smell pet stains, or you see animals that walked across it. How do you tell about pet stains? You can't see them on the front, like real busy part. How do you tell? Huh? You can smell it, right? But another good way of doing it is you can turn it over, okay? This you couldn't see it too good, but a lot of them that's lighter backing on it, okay, you can see it, water stain. Looks like a water stain, on the back. Okay, that's probably from pet. Okay, comes right through, makes a stain on the back of it. Okay, so we inspected it. Then what we did?
Get a waiver signed.
Make sure we have a waiver, okay? When you're doing them in here, you look, make sure we have a waiver. We don't touch them if we don't have a waiver, okay? Waiver, what's important on the waiver?
You got the colors, you got to think for saying what color it is, the measurements, basically if it has fringes, without fringes, basically the description of the rug and everything.
And that's kind of on there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, different things you check off?
Yep.
Okay, and then what do they want to do? They know the size?
Yep,
Right.
size, yep.
So you got to measure the size of it, okay? And then you have the customer do what?
Read it.
What?
Sign.
Sign it. It's got to be signed. It does not exist if it's not signed. Okay? What do they do with it after that?
Make sure you take a picture of it, put it on the app.
Picture of it? All waivers, immediately after sign. Take a picture of it, put it on an app so that you can't say, well, it got lost. Okay? So on your app, automatically, right, goes into the record.
Yep.
So we have it. So where do you look for waivers when you get ready to do the road?
I'll go right to the app.
Goes right to the wrap and look, so you can see the picture of it there, make sure it's all filled in. Make sure you get the right road, right?
Exactly.
Okay, all right, so we gone through all that. Any questions on that? Pretty simple stuff. I hope you took good notes, wrote this stuff down, okay? Remember, you could be doing a $15,000 rug out there or bringing a $15,000 rug in. So they're bringing it back to the warehouse. So what do they do now?
When you,
I have a question,
Yes.
sorry. So you say you take a picture of the waiver and upload it?
yes,
Do you also take a picture of the rug, right?
not if they do it in-house.
Okay,
So only if they bring it back here.
you take a picture, okay.
So they bring it back here and unroll it, take a picture.
Yeah.
Okay. What if they can take a picture of that? It's kind of open and...
I do, if I could take a picture at the house, I'll take a picture at
Yeah,
the
you
house.
can take a picture at the house, take a picture of the house, but don't take a picture where all we're seeing is furniture and we see about that much carpet, okay? So you're gonna have to move the furniture anyway, right? Okay, most of the time, the customers haven't moved? Nope. Okay, so we gotta move it, so you gotta be very careful moving furniture, same rules apply, if it's glass, lamps, whatever like that, be very careful. So you're moving the furniture anyway, so if you got it all moved, take a picture of it, that way you don't have to open it up when you get back there, okay?
And then make sure you label it when you bring it back.
Make sure you label it when you bring it back. Now, they put it in the truck. Okay, is there any special way or things they gotta be careful of when they put a $15,000 rug into the back of the butler truck?
Yeah, be careful you don't snag on anything, rip it, tear it, spill anything on it, things like that.
Be very careful. Remember, think of every rug. How much you think this rug costs? Get ready to do it?
$100.
Huh?
$100.
$15,000. Okay. What would you think this rug costs? You get ready to do it? Mindset? $15,000. We'll see how long it takes to catch on. Wilson, right? You're pretty smart, huh? You're pretty smart guy. You're getting ready to do this rug. The customer's house will take it out. In your mind, how much does this rug cost? $15,000. Give me 5. Way to go. Okay, we'll just see if you really got it now. Trevor.
$15,000.
How much, no, the question was, how much do you want to give me?
about it.
Well, so mindset. This rug is $15,000. Okay, I hope y'all realize that when you sign the employee manual thing, it says right in there is a place where if you cause damage by neglect means by doing something that you're not supposed to do. Okay, not our policy, not to do, that you could be responsible for the cost of it. Okay, you say, well, I don't have $15,000. Just keep that in mind. That's why mindset, $15,000. I'm going to take care of it. One of the things, the same principle as they say how to drive a real expensive vehicle or whatever like that you want to take care of, as if there is an egg under the gas pedal. So you don't go stomping down on the same thing. Treat it like a $15,000 rug. So now we're getting ready to clean her up. In-house, right? Okay, we're going to kind of, all of this as if it was in-house. So what do you do now, Dave?
Right, next thing you want to do, you actually want to test the rug, make sure it doesn't bleed before you clean it. And just have a clean white rag on you. And then you want to take I always carry a bottle of freeze spray.
Think we could do these rags? Okay. Is that white or is this?
It's like a,
Yeah, but you can see color transfer, right? Yeah, you can see color transfer off of that. So don't use it down, use a rag, okay?
so basically, you're going to go down to, it's mainly the dark colors that's going to bleed on you. The reds, the blacks, the dark blues, stuff like that. So you want to take the little spray here, You don't want to get it too wet.
What are you using? What kind of spray?
It's the Preface, the free spray.
Free spray. Yep.
Yep. So just test an area, spray it down a little bit.
About the size of a somebody's big foot.
Looks like a, maybe.
50-cent piece.
Yeah, 50-cent piece.
50-cent piece. Okay.
And then you're just gonna take the white rag, hold it over it, just put some pressure on it, maybe like 30 seconds or so.
Or you could put it on there, put this on top of it. Okay, give it a little pressure, and you could go do something else, or you can sit there and do that. Whatever you want to do. But at least 30 seconds, minimum 30 seconds, maximum how long?
A minute or so.
It doesn't matter, maximum.
Because I had to.
It doesn't matter, okay? Don't leave it there for a couple days and then throw it
So
out.
you actually would just see, if it bleeds, you would actually see like red, blue, whatever it may be. That's just the color of the free spray right there.
What if you see dirt?
It's just dirty.
Well, that's why you're cleaning it, right? So you want to look for a color. Now, what if it's just very, very light, just almost barely noticeable color?
You can get away with, just go very light on it. You can probably get away with a little bit of color.
First thing you want to do is talk to the customer, right? You want to talk to the customer, and then the color that you can show them. It's very, very light. I can clean this here. It's going to be your decision. I can clean it here, okay? What way I'll clean it is just very lightly. I won't use a whole lot of water, and I'll try to dry it really good. And do you have any fans you can put on here, blowing across the ceiling fans, turn the air conditioning down? You know, you want it to dry fast, clean it as dry as possible, dry it as fast as possible. Okay, you can't do that, but let them have the choice. Same thing with furniture, right? You know, as long as you see pieces bleeding, you can lightly clean it. I can clean almost any rug that bleeds, just a very light amount. Okay, go over it with them. If it's real heavy, what do you do? Real heavy bleeding.
Oh, you gotta tell them you couldn't do it there. You would have to actually bring it to the shop and clean it.
What are we going to do in the shop?
We can actually dry clean it here.
How do we dry clean?
It's actually a dry cleaning compound we put on it. That's how.
Yeah, it's like a powder. Okay, it's a powder that we put on there, rake it in, let it sit for a certain amount of time. Okay, then we vacuum it off.
You actually brush it in real good.
Brush it in real
That's
good.
it, vacuum it off.
Vacuum it off. We use the rug badger to kind of knock it off afterwards to get as much out of it as absolutely possible. But it's the only alternative. You know, what percentage do you think? Just off the top of your head, you know, you do 100 rugs. How many of them do you think clean? Just roughly.
Maybe 10% of them at that.
10% at that, maybe 5%?
Yeah, 5%.
You know, 5% at the, so that means 95% of them you can do in the customer center. So what have we done so far? Inspected it, got the waiver signed, okay? Look for all the different things that need to be done. Had a conversation, we did a color test on it. Had a conversation with the customer as to what we can do. Okay, now what do we do?
Next thing we want to do is you want to pre-spray.
Our normal pre-spray?
Yep, normal pre-spray.
Okay.
You just got to be careful, especially if you're doing them in the house overspray.
What do you do if it's overspray?
Use your rag to wipe it up.
Rag, wipe it up right away, not at the end of the job, right?
Yep.
You don't even want to let that sit on there. And you can tell the customer, you know, as you're going to do it, I'm going to get a little bit of overspray on there, but it's just a soap basically. So I'm going to wipe it up right away, okay? The floors are pretty tough. We've never had any problems with damage on it. If you don't do, now it's not going to go through the carpet. This is just the overspray. And be careful what you're around. Okay, so how long we let it sit? Well, we rake it, right?
About 5 minutes, but you want to rake it first. Just go over it with the brush rake.
Now you said a brush rake.
Yep.
So that is actually a brush, right?
Yep, it's actually a brush.
See the bristles on it? Okay, and then we have rakes on the truck?
Yep, regular rake right here.
Rake right there, that's groom's carpet.
Yep.
So remember, the one is combing your hair and the other one is if you want to scrub, okay? Like I use a brush when I wash my hair. Some of you don't have much to laugh about. Okay. So now this, you're going to have a problem in doing this rug if you try to do it the way rug or here. So you got a helper. So you're going to ask the helper to stand in and do it, right? Okay, I'll be the helper.
All right, sounds good. All right, so start at one of the ends. So I can put over just a little bit there.
So I'm not a real good helper. that. See how you do the
There you go.
So how wet do you get it?
You don't want to get too wet. You don't want it to go through or anything.
So maybe one, clean again with your eyes. If it doesn't look real dirty in there, don't get it real wet. Okay, just clean it again with your eyes. You can see the difference in that it's going to cost you, right? Was this rug clean before?
It's already clean.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. Okay, you should be able to see the light stuff, pop out a little bit more. Now, what do you think this material is? Anybody have any idea? Can't hear you?
It doesn't smell like wool at all.
Doesn't smell like wool, right? So it's probably not. I gave a key to it earlier. I said it is a, what kind of rug? Another word.
$15,000.
That's what you want to treat on. But before that, very good. Before that, I said it was what kind of a rug? A cheap rug. Okay, this is something you buy at Walmart. How can I tell? Feel that. It's pretty flimsy, The towel is not thick. Okay. Does it smell like a dog? No. No. It smells pre-spray. So it's not wool. Okay, so the cheapest thing they can make carpet out of, and this is something you guys should know, a little information on carpet itself. Remember the science of it? The cheapest product they can make carpet out of it is polypropylene. Polypropylene. Okay, you should write that down. How do you spell polypropylene? Come on, you two go to college. How do you spell polypropylene?
P-O-L-Y.
P-O-L-Y.
Propylene.
Okay. Great. Close enough. Poly, P-O-L-Y, pro, P-R-O, P-A, L-I-N-E. We'll get the exact spelling and we're going to email it to them. Polypropylene. That's the cheapest stuff. Okay, that you can make, but it's a softer fiber. It's not a really hard fiber. It's cheap. The old Herculine sofas, a lot of your furniture is like that because the one thing about polypropylene is that material is that color. Okay, that material is like that color. Remember we talked about a carrot? Carrot is orange on the outside. If you cut the carrot, what is it on the inside? It's orange. That is called a solution dyed product. When that all fiber, plastic fiber, when it's made, is first melted down into a liquid, a solution. That solution is that color. Okay, so when it goes through the extruding machine, little like a shower faucet that sprays down, that's actually how they make it. I've seen it down in DuPont or Seaford, Delaware, DuPont factory down there. Okay, they got hot. It goes through little nozzles. Okay, they're really small and it's up high, so gravity takes it right down. And as it drops out, it's a liquid, and you can see it changing color. It may drop about 15 feet. By the time it gets down to the bottom, it's hardened into a fiber and it's put on a reel. That's how they make it. Solution dyed, but it's soft. Hardest product is nylon, like fishing line. It's nylon. It's very expensive to solution dyed nylon because it doesn't accept the solution really good. So when that's made, it's kind of made clear. Okay, but then it's dyed on the outside of it to make it that color. Okay, so it's a little bit tougher. Solution dyed polypropylene is like the carrot. Nylon, dyed nylon is like the apple. Outside of the apple is red, the skin of it. Okay, it looks red if you look at it. But if you cut that apple and look inside of it, it's white, hopefully, unless it's rotten. Or you look at a worm looking out at you. Okay, but the same principle. All right, so cheapest thing, polypropylene. Okay, I can tell by the feel of it because it's a softer material. Polypropylene. It's cheap. This is probably $100 if that on it. But you treat it like a what, Zach? $15,000 rug. So we went over, we cleaned it, looks good, paid attention to the edges. What do you do if it has fringes on it you're in a house?
What I do if they're pretty bad and the customer wants it done in the house, I would actually you can actually scrub it, just flip it up a little bit, put the furniture blanket underneath, flip it back down, then you can actually scrub a little bit if you have to.
Okay, that's what I used to do. Clean fringes right on that. Okay, you clean it right on the rug. Okay, so you can do either way. I clean them like that. Okay, and if you want to clean the other side, you can kind of do it like that. Very easy. You don't have to really get them wet a whole lot. So what do you use to clean the fringes?
I mean, it's mainly what I would use is actually like you can use APS is good. I have to actually use Perky on it too. Most of your household stains are going to be spill stains, which is Perky good for.
I would stay with Perky because you don't want to get to a real high pH, okay? Because a high pH on most of them are white, real white color, and white high pH can cause browning. You can see it more on white, and you want the fringes to look nice when they're done. So the strongest I would use would be Perky. Well, you kind of spray it and scrub it a little bit, and then you extract it lightly so you don't have to soak the place down. Right. But that's why bringing it in here, we can do a much better job. How do you do the fringes in here?
Same way.
Yeah, but you can use the floor. So yeah, you get them a lot wetter, a lot drier, use a lot more different chemicals, spray on. We don't care what happens to the concrete floor. Right. The only thing it'll do is get it clean. Right. On it. So okay, so we've done that. We've cleaned it. We've done the fringes on it. What if you have pet stains on it?
Treat them too.
What do we treat them with?
Undoes it.
Undoes it. Spray it on the top.
Yep.
Spray it on the back.
Depending on what it's actually sitting on.
Yeah. So be careful. You spray it a little bit on the top after you clean it. Before.
No, before.
Before you clean it. So same thing you do with treating carpet at the customer's house.
Same with deodorizing too. Do that before.
Okay. So any deodorizer. Make sure you address the pet stains. Remember, we can't do a whole lot with them. We'll do our best. We can do a lot more when they bring them back here. Okay. One thing to also tell them, I think a good thing to do, we want to start doing when you're bringing it back here, tell them if the technician that's going to clean it sees any problem with the rug before he cleans it, he'll call you. Okay? He'll call you. All right, so Dave, he pulls it out, comes out and says, there's a lot of pet stains in here. It didn't have anything marked on there, or they're pretty bad. This isn't going to just clean up. Might be a candidate for soaking it, a couple little other things that we're going to be doing. Okay, so he'll take and call that customer and have a conversation with them first before we do anything. Okay, so we've cleaned it, done all of that. What do we do now?
Next thing you do, you want to put brown out on it,
Why?
the neutralizer, because a lot of times with the high pH cleaner you put on there, once it dries, it actually is going to start turning like a brownish color, so this will prevent that.
Especially if it's got any wool or cotton in that rug. Okay, cotton sometimes you can't tell. All right, you're all not experts at identifying carpet what it is. So we do this to make sure, okay? If you clean a wool rug, it's got wool in there and you don't put brown out on, they're gonna call when it's dry and say, my rug looks brownish color. Then we gotta go back out, re-wet it, okay? And we usually have to clean it with brown out solution, okay, to really get it in there. That's double the work, okay? So always put brown out on it. You spray it on and what do?
Spray it on, then you want to rake it in.
Right, but before you do that, now we have pre-spray on the carpet, right? So, you use the rag, right?
Yeah.
One thing I always did is, when I had a rag or whatever, I just kind of like, I'll make sure the customer saw it, so they didn't say, where was that rake at the last time you used it? Just kind of come across it and clean it. Okay, so you kind of rake it in,
So just rake it in.
kind of move it around a little bit. You can use a brush, but again, the same thing. Make sure that you've gone over and just cleaned that brush off a little bit, and maybe a pre-spray or whatever on that, kind of get it all on it. What's the dilution ratio of brown out?
8 ounces to a gallon.
8 ounces to a gallon. What happens if you put too much, you mix it too thick with the brown out?
And it will leave the carpet sticky.
It'll leave the carpet sticky. It's a sticky film that's on it. Okay, so 8 ounces per gallon of clean fresh water, right? Clean fresh water, 8 ounces per gallon. All right, that's why we have that mixed up in our spray on. You can use the pistol grip. Now last week we went over one thing that we're putting on trucks. We're going to pick up some more today. Okay, that you put a protector on furniture. What did we go over last week? Gave 2 of them, huh?
The little new canister thing. A new canister.
Right, it's a pump-up
Pre-spray.
thing, okay? That's on there. It looks a lot more professional putting protector on furniture with that than just a pistol grip sprayer. Okay, so now we put it on that. But you probably had a conversation with the customer before you started it about putting a protector on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can sell a protector. Remember, area rugs does not come with a protector. Okay, it's a good idea to put a protector on them. Okay, so same price as regular carpet, just putting a protector on it. Okay, what do we use?
It's actually, you're going to put the Stay Clean on it.
Stay Clean on it. So you would have that pump-up sprayer thing, okay, and put that on it with that. Why we use Stay Clean, Dave?
Actually, it doesn't stick to, like, you could use it for Berber too. It actually doesn't stick.
So, yeah, those are good reasons and all. And then also, remember, area rugs are more susceptible to moisture. We want that rug to dry as fast as possible, right? Okay. What do we use? Teflon?
Teflon, yep.
Teflon. What do we mix that with? Water. So we're spraying more water on the carpet. Now, wall-to-wall carpet, okay. I mean, you know, it's not as susceptible to being wet. If it takes another extra hour to dry, that's fine. But we want this rug, area rugs, to dry as fast as possible. So we do not want to introduce any more water onto there. Okay, any questions? Everybody understand it? No question. You must have did a great job, Dave, on explaining all of this. Okay, Dave's right here. Give him a big hand. Okay.